Do you all keep a wish list of directors that you want to work with? Like Rob, you've over the last few years, Herzog, Cronenberg, Robert Eggers now on The Lighthouse. Like, is that what you're keeping in mind? Like, just I want to try out all of these different filmmaker collaborations.
Yeah, I definitely did when I first started. I kind of had maybe 12 people I really wanted to work with, and probably the 12 people I ended up working with eventually. But yeah, I think in general, because I sort of fell into acting, I just kind of, if I've seen something where a performance has sort of touched me in some way, I just think the chances are, if you just try and work with that director, I think the probability is a little bit higher that they'll bring something out of you which you connected to in their previous work.
You ain't no copper. You ain't the president. You ain't my father. And I'm sick of you acting like you is.
If I can watch one movie again for the very first time, it would be
If I could see one movie again for the very first time,
A Prophet. Un Prophet. In the French name. It's an incredible film. I watch it like probably once every 2 years. It makes me so happy.
maybe Hand the Rock to Cradle, it's my sexual awakening.
Robert, you recently signed on, you're going to be playing the role of Batman, and you'd said that this is something you didn't think you would have done a few years ago. What changed for you? What kind of made you feel that you were ready to take on a sort of a big part like that?
I mean, I don't know if I'm ready. I hadn't. There's something about like, it is a different feeling when you're doing something which you kind of know that there's a big or inbuilt audience for, and there's expectation from the audience. It's kind of fun sometimes to kind of feel that pressure. I mean, I love doing something which is quite unusual and trying to help it find its audience as well. But it's kind of, I don't know, there's this sort of battle sometimes, especially when people really doubt that they really don't want you to do the part at the beginning. It's quite galvanizing.
You'd be a great Batman. Great Batman. You'd be a great James Bond.
Very much. You'd be a great producer.
And writer.
As art sort of becomes increasingly political, do you feel a responsibility to address things that are going on in the world in your films? Are those things you think about, or do you prefer for it to remain escapist, sort of like The Lighthouse, Rob?
I think you're kind of addressing something. I mean, I like to think that in trying to do something that feels original, the only way it can be original if it's taking into account the world that you're living in. I mean, there's some kind of precipitous effect. Like if you try and do something which maybe changes the way an audience views movies and what they want to see in the movie theater, then it would kind of change their mind in general and make them open a little bit to how they live the rest of their life. I mean, that's kind of vaguely what I think, because seeing movies has changed the way I view the world.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like you can only really do stuff for yourself, and I think if you try and do a movie or do any kind of job where it feels like you need to reach your reach exceeds your grasp, and you have to kind of develop. You have to work on yourself. Then just doing that does something for the world, I think.